Ah, sailing. Being out on the bay with the wind in your sails. Yes, it's the middle of winter, but I'm talking about another kind of sailing. This is ice boating. Better hang on. Sorry for the shaky ride, folks, but I was doing all I could the other day just to hang on myself when I caught a ride on a homemade ice boat on the Great South Bay in Bellport, New York, on the south shore of Long Island. They don't often get ice strong enough out here for ice boating, but they had it this winter, and it's given these folks a chance to satisfy that need for speed.
You know, there's not too many things you can do without a motor that you can go 70, 80 miles an hour. Yeah. And you can definitely do it on these.
In Bellport, the South Bay Scooter Club is dedicated to a wooden-hulled ice boat originally built by local duck hunters who wanted something that could scoot over ice and water. It was also used by rum runners during Prohibition. I got out on Joel Furman's boat, a homemade plywood shingle on skates with a sail taken from a Sunfish sailboat.
This is a Popular Mechanics 1958 design, and they had the plans in there, and I think you could probably still retrieve it at any local library.
It doesn't look like much, but this little rig is a lot of fun, if you don't mind a bit of wind chill. Joel was chasing boats and seagulls. I was just hanging on, laying flat, and trying to dodge the boom as it swung low overhead.
How fast can you go on this thing?
We were probably doing close to 60 miles an hour. Yeah.
Ice boating is also a long-standing tradition out on the east end of Long Island, in Orient, where the locals, members of the Orient Ice Yacht Club, were getting their kicks on Halleck's Bay. They had all types of ice boats, some nifty newer ones with lightweight frames and modern sails.
Okay, do it again. Okay.
And some classic stern steerers. This one, the Platter, was made in the 1800s, with wood taken from an old local windmill.
It was built in 1880, and we have probably 12 or 15 of these old boats that go back into the 1800s here. It's really cool that people loved ice boating enough to save them, and hopefully they'll be around for many more generations.
Then there was the granddaddy, the Jack Frost. Like many ice boats out here, it was lying around in disrepair for years and finally given to the club to restore and care for.
The gentleman that owned it last turned it over to us, and we designate a few people to watch out for it and sail it and make sure it's taken care of.
These old boats are classics, but there was one smooth-looking cruiser that caught my eye, and its skipper, Mike Acebo, took me for a ride. Mike told me this was a J14 that he built himself.
It's got a springboard in the front, gives it a little bit of shock absorber. This one has a sidecar for carrying passengers.
Even in light winds, this thing moved along, and he later showed me on his GPS that we were doing a respectable 31.7 miles an hour. I told Mike I had to go in and thaw out, but he shot back out on the bay. After all, this kind of ice doesn't last forever.